Fellow town meeting members, my name is Connie Barr, and I am the current chair of the Needham School Committee. I'm here to speak on Warrant Article 7, but before I do so, I would like to take this opportunity to extend the school committee's immense appreciation to town meeting members, the select board, the finance committee, and our stellar board of health for their unprecedented, consistent, and educated support and guidance during the COVID-19 pandemic. This help and guidance was crucial to the school district's ability to maintain the health and safety of students and staff while providing the best possible education and eventually returning our students to full in-person school. Thank you. To segue into discussion of Article 7 on the warrant, we are also grateful to town meeting and to the town of Needham for years of supporting the school department when our schools have needed renovation or replacement. And collectively, we have all supported many municipal building projects as well. One consequence of these successes has been that repair of the deteriorating Emery Grover building, which houses school administration and operations, and which has been on the capital plan for many years, has repeatedly been delayed as these many municipal and school projects took precedence. This deterioration of Emery Grover, or EG as I will call it in this presentation, is now to the point that EG is no longer a suitable or healthy building for school administration. Hence, we now seek your support for Warrant Article 7, in which $1.475 million would be appropriated for engineering and design of the renovation of the EG building, including the temporary use of Hillside School as swing space. We had previously planned to bring this article to May 2021 town meeting, but instead chose to hold it back until now, special town meeting, in order to provide further time to study all aspects of the request, re-examine all alternative solutions, and to be certain that we had the best plan to present to you. There's a long backstory to this request, a story which goes back over 31 years and involves 7 studies, all of which acknowledge the poor state of the building and the increasing need for repair and renovation. EG has limped along with work repeatedly deferred. It has been pushed to the back burner as other school and town projects took precedence. The short but most important part of the story is the last 2 years since the feasibility study of 2019. Since then, it has become universally accepted that the EG is no longer suitable to house school administration, or anyone in fact. In these last 2 years, multiple parties have shared in the identification and study of possible solutions. The Select Board, Town Management, School Committee, Permanent Public Building Committee, and our own town building experts, the Finance Committee, and more have participated in collaborative, collective, and transparent processes and studies, and many ideas have been presented and then considered, examined, and then reconsidered. Since last May's town meeting, we have reconsidered the original proposal and reduced its scope and cost by 1/3. We have reduced the amount of square footage and the total cost. The reduced proposal will still meet the needs of the schools for generations to come, and we are excited to finally bring this before you. We also considered many alternatives, and I will mention a few now. Building a new building, but the feasibility study could not identify suitable space in town to purchase and then to build a new building. There's no excess space in town or school buildings to house school administration and operations. Leased space is not readily available. As recently as several weeks ago, a request for information put out by the school department brought in no proposals. The only possible rental space subsequently identified is beyond Route 128, not on a bus route, for our families who might need transportation to the building, and starts at $900,000 rent a year. It is located on the 6th floor of a building. The funds for this lease would have to come out of the operating budget, significantly crowding out teaching and learning priorities. Building at the Hillside site is more expensive than rebuilding at the EG site. It would involve issues with the contaminated soils on that site, and it would preclude using Hillside as swing space when Mitchell is rebuilt or renovated. And there is inadequate space at a rebuilt Pollard or Mitchell to add on for school administration. We concluded that a downsized plan fitting within the existing EG footprint is the right plan. The school committee has chosen rebuilding at EG as the most cost-effective and best solution. The Select Board has voted to support this recommendation and brings warrant Article 7 to you, and we seek your unanimous approval. What happens in the EG? Why is it so important to the schools and community? School administration and operations are literally the hub of the high-quality education that Needham residents so value, and they provide 3 vital and in-person functions, including 1, resources and planning for teaching and learning, 2, operations and services for students, staff, and families, 3, governance for the schools and community. The school administration departments which actively engage our family, staff, and leadership in our schools includes student registration, human resources, nutrition services, transportation services, financial operations, student support services and special education, curriculum and student learning, nutrition services, print production and mail for the 8 schools, Needham Community Education, and the Office of the Superintendent. These services require a secure, healthy, accessible, and conveniently located building and need to be in proximity to one another for optimal communication and collaboration. The interaction and relationship between and among these various programs is critical to the overall success of our students and schools. Why do we need a building when it seems as if everyone works remotely now? Well, not every profession works remotely. The business of teaching and learning is not a remote profession, with our nearly 1,000 staff in person every day, and almost all of them in person daily during the entire pandemic. And our leadership needs to be in person as well, because the services they provide are in person and hands-on. And those online activities they do also need to be supported and managed. Our leadership and administration staff need to be in proximity to one another for collaboration, planning, training, student needs, and much more. For families who have multiple needs, for example, or for whom English is a second language, there are over 25 languages spoken by English language learners in our schools, or who need to access multiple programs, services in one building and in person are necessary. A video produced by our school superintendent details program activities within the Emery Grover, and it is available for you to watch in your town meeting materials. The frequently asked questions document, which accompanied your town meeting warrant, also has extensive detail about this project. We hope you will read it thoroughly. After the collaborative process described above, the school committee found itself with 4 tenable options. These are: 1, to renovate the EG building in approximately its current footprint. 2, to demolish and rebuild on the EG site. 3, to renovate the Hillside School. Or 4, to demolish and rebuild at the Hillside site. The school committee has identified the best and most affordable choice to renovating the EG building at its current site. Why is this our choice? These are the reasons. This is the least expensive of the 4 options. The site is already under school committee jurisdiction, and there are no other viable parcels available in the town. The site is more or less centrally located to the 8 schools and is near Town Hall. The site is accessible by public transportation with a bus stop right in front of the building. This project would have the shortest timeline, and our carbon footprint is minimized compared to demolishing and rebuilding. Hillside could serve as temporary administration space during construction and then be available as possible swing space when Mitchell is built. The EG site does not face the environmental contamination issues of the Hillside site. Not most important, but desirable, this would be a rebuild of an historic Needham building and could be eligible for a Community Preservation Act funds. Some corollary points I would like to make. What about Pollard and Mitchell schools, which are in need of renovation? Doesn't the renovation of EG delay these projects? Planning for renovation of these schools is occurring on a parallel track and will continue alongside the EG project. These school projects have different funding sources, different processes and approvals are needed for them. They include the need to apply to the Massachusetts School Building Authority for funding. The school department has engaged a designer who is currently working with us to move the work forward, perhaps in a schedule more tolerable to the town's budget, debt, and taxpayers. And unlike at EG, where the multiple Band-Aids are no longer sufficient, these schools continue to educate our students in buildings that routinely receive maintenance and upgrades from the town. For example, new bathrooms were renovated at Mitchell this summer, and the Pollard Auditorium is part of a plan to upgrade lighting and sound. What about energy efficiency in a renovated building, something that is important to all of us? This is to be determined in the design process in order to develop a building plan which will be energy efficient and move toward net zero. Sunita Williams is a good example of successfully planning for energy efficiency, and similar lessons will be applied to this building. What about CPA funds? Our warrant article is requesting project design funds. It is not a request for construction funding, which would be determined later. The CPC has signaled that they would consider allocating funds to an EG project as an historic renovation, but we would need to apply. They have also been clear that they are sensitive to other needs in the town. This, as long as it is still just a summary of all of the aspects of this request and article. I strongly encourage you to review the documents and presentation available on the town's website and the FAQs available with your town meeting warrant mailed to your home. In closing, after many years of study but no action, after an exhaustive and collaborative process of studying and being creative about the available options, it is time to act and to construct a building to lead our fine schools in the 21st century. We have identified the most appropriate, efficient, and cost-effective project, and we respectfully request your unanimous support for design funds to renovate Emery Grover to serve our students, to serve our schools, and to ensure we build a bright future for the Needham community. Thank you for your attention and consideration.